Hello and welcome to Kel Knits. My name is Kelly and I am an Aussie knitter living in Sydney, Australia with my family. This is my YouTube channel where I occasionally come on and chat about my knitting, what I'm working on, what I want to be working on, and all of that. So before I get into anything, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the Camaragal people who are the traditional owners of the land where I'm filming today. And I would like to pay my respects to their elders, both past, present, future, and emerging. And if you'd like to know more about the acknowledgement to country and what it means and why in particular it's so important in Australia, I will link some information in the show notes below. Let's start talking about knitting though. It's been a little while since I last filmed a video. I guess life's been busy like it is for everyone, I'm sure, and somehow I feel a combination of both busy and also a bit lazy in that I just didn't really feel like filming an episode. And it's something that I think you really need to be in the mood for, but today I'm in the mood for it. I've got a little window of time on my lunch break whilst I'm working from home. So I thought, let's make the most of this time and see if I can shoot a quick video for you and give you a little bit of an update. So let's start with what I'm wearing, which is my first finished object. And this is the Feldspar Tee by the lovely Hanna Lübben, who is Herb Garden Knitwear. I've talked a lot about this. I find by the time an object gets to a finished object, I've already talked quite a lot about the pattern throughout previous videos. So I'll give you a kind of a quick overview about my thoughts about the pattern and so forth. I really enjoyed it. It's a really, I think, an easy, fun, entertaining knit to do because it has the detail of the eyelets around the edging and the purl ridges as you knit the garment that kind of keep it entertaining rather than just stockinette in the round, which is fun. And I think it makes the final result look really interesting and a little bit unique as well. It's knit bottom up. I had problems with sizing, but I have problems. I think I just need to accept that that's always going to be a problem for me. One day I will start knitting an item and I will finish it without having to start again with a different size. And when that day happens, I will be over the moon, but it's not today. But I'm glad that I did start again. In this instance, I had to go up a size because now it fits really nicely, whereas it was going to be much too small before. And this is a garment that should have, I think, a bit of positive ease. It's obviously a summer garment. And of course, I finished knitting it towards the end of summer. So I haven't actually really had too many opportunities to wear it. But that's okay. An opportunity will still come up. And if not, next summer we'll be here, hopefully, before we know it. I used... it's a cotton, 100% cotton yarn, Bellissimo Orchard, I'm pretty sure is what it's called, in the color Ivory. And of course, I write on the screen all of these things, and I will link down below links to the pattern and also information about the yarn, as well, in case I forget to mention it, or I just say the wrong thing because I've forgotten. So this is the Feldspar Tee by Herb Garden Knitwear. And it's lovely. I'm seeing it popping up on the gram lots lately, so it's certainly caught the eye of a number of other people too. So it's a nice, lovely pattern. I have another finished object. That's one thing when it's a little bit of time between filming videos, is that you end up with a couple of finished objects, and that's this one here behind me, which is the Oddments Cowl. I think that's right, by Helen Stewart. I finished it a couple of weeks ago, so I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And this yarn, I can't really tell you anything about this yarn other than it was a lovely gift from my friend Daniela, who is the Knitter's Suitcase, has an amazing new podcast, which I will link below in case you haven't checked it out. And she sent me this lovely little package with all of these little oddballs of yarn, and I made this cowl, which was part of Helen's Curious Handmade. It was part of her last knit vent over last Christmas, and it was such a fun pattern. It was a really memorizable, easy repeated lace pattern. And then of course you change colors every so many repeats of the pattern, which made it quite engaging and fun. And I think the colors just look really lovely together. So I'm very happy with this. Well done, Daniela, choosing all of these colors to come together because they look great. I've had a couple of short flights over the last couple of months, and this was the pattern, this was the knit that I took every time because it was a lovely small little project that was also kind of interesting to be working on when traveling. So it's great for that. I don't think I've even taken photos of this properly yet. I finished it a few weeks ago. I need to take some photos. I need to put them on Instagram. I just haven't been on there or that engaged with it all lately, which is okay, that's fine. But I do like using Instagram as a bit of a knitting journal on my profile and having those photos and looking back over the different things that I've knit. So I will at some stage take some photos and get it posted up there. But this is my Oddments Cowl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. Okay, those are all the finished objects that I have, but I have 2 whips that I'm working on, and they are both things that you've seen if you've watched my other videos. So yay, I have 2 finished objects, but I'm still plugging away at some other whips. I haven't started anything new, even though my fingers, I can tell you, are very itchy to cast on a new project. So I need to be doing that. So the first whip that I've got that is getting my focus at the moment because I'm on a deadline is called Unplugged by, I've got the pattern here, Unplugged by Hook Mountain Handmade. And this is a cardigan inspired by Kurt Cobain's cardigan that I'm knitting for my brother for his birthday. It doesn't look like anything at the moment. Look. That's just all over the place at the moment. It's knit from the bottom up. So I've knit up to below the armpits, and now I'm knitting the back panel. I probably have another couple of inches to go on that, and then I'll do the side panels and do all the rest, bring them together. So far, enjoying the pattern, really loving this yarn. The yarn is Concept by Katia Cotton Merino Tweed in the color, I don't know, 505. It's like a rusty color. I don't super love the color, if I'm honest. My brother picked it and it's for him, so that's what matters. As long as he likes the color, that's fine. But it's a lovely, it's quite lightweight, it's really soft. I think it's going to be a really lovely cozy cardigan. So I could knit this again for me in the same yarn, just a different color. I'm on a deadline because we're heading, he lives in a different state. We are heading there to visit in the second week of the school holidays, which is coming up. So I think that's in about 2 weeks' time. Will I have it done? Yeah, no, I won't. So realistic expectations for myself. It's not going to be done in 2 weeks. I'm not that fast a knitter. I don't have that much knitting time these days. But what I would like to have done is to have kind of finished the body so that I can block that and he can try it on and I can get an idea, you know, hopefully it will fit beautifully, and then I can work on the sleeves because I think I've lost I did measure him up when we were together at Christmas, but I think I've lost that piece of paper somewhere. But it'd be nice to measure him up again to make sure I get the sleeve length right and so forth. Also, we're driving to go visit them, so it's about a 9-hour drive from here. I'll drive maybe half that time, which means the other half I can spend on knitting. So maybe if I have the body done, it's blocked, I can kind of start on the sleeves on that drive as well. So, but that's why I am on a deadline. I really want to at least have done the body before I go see him. So that's my Unplugged cardigan. I have another whip that also I should be on a deadline for because it's a test knit. But I think maybe I just should never do tests again because yeah, I can't do it with the deadlines. The deadline has come and it has gone, and I'm still knitting. So this is a very beautiful pattern called the Frisky Leaves by, name escapes me. How embarrassing. Anyway, I will write it on the screen. I will link it in the show notes below. I have a terrible memory, honestly, at the best of times. So it's hardly surprising that I always forget the names of yarns and designers and things, so my apologies. But the name of the pattern is the Frisky Leaves Tee, and it is here. Now, if you watched my previous episode, you might look at it and say, oh, Kelly, you haven't done any work on that. Not true. I've done lots of work on it, and that's because I frogged it. And I started again. And I'm kind of back where I was a month or so ago when I last filmed a podcast. Because this time it was going to be too big. I mean, I think with a summer tee, it's nice that there's positive ease, but it just was going to be way too big on me. So I thought, no, I want it to fit. I want it to be a nice fit. So I frogged it and I've started again. And now I've split for sleeves and I'm working on stockinette at the body. Yeah, I will insert a picture. The pattern has now been released, and I will insert a picture of what the pattern looks like because it's beautiful. It's really lovely, and I've seen lots of the other testers, their finished objects, which are really lovely. So I highly recommend it. The lace is quite lovely to do. Not difficult, you know, if you're used to doing a lace yoke, and I love a lace yoke. So I can highly recommend the pattern from that point of view. I'm getting tired of working on it. I think that's understandable, isn't it? It's beautiful yarn. This is Louis and Lola yarn. What's in it? It's a blend. I think it's got silk. I can't remember. And I don't have the ball band here because they've all been rewound up after I frogged it the first time. So I will write on the screen. It's really, really lovely. And yeah, but I, of course, deciding to frog it all, I ripped it all out, wound it all up and cast straight on again to keep going. And that means that actually it's not looking that great. This is probably such a rookie error to not have actually washed the yarn to get out those kinks, dried it, then wound it up and started again. But I was lazy and I didn't want to do all of that work, and I didn't think it would be that big a deal. But now I've done another month's worth of knitting and I'm looking at it thinking, why couldn't you have taken that extra time, Kelly? So what I really want to do now is block it and cross fingers that actually the way it looks. I don't know if you can really see on screen how kind of kinky it looks, and my tension looks terrible, but hopefully blocking will be a little bit forgiving because I'm not going to start again. I can't do it. I can do it once. I've done that now multiple times because, as I said, I'm apparently incapable of ever knitting something the correct size the first time, but I can't start again a second time. So fingers crossed. I think I haven't tried it on. It was the wrong size. It was too big before, so I frogged it, started again, and I've just knit. I haven't tried it on, so I hope it fits too. But honestly, again, if it doesn't fit, if now it's too small, it's going to be a gift for somebody because I couldn't do it again. Okay, so those are my finished objects. Those are my two whips. I think I need to, just for my own, just to give myself a little bit of knitting joy, I think I need to cast something else on and get a new project going, because I think sometimes that can just feel really refreshing when you feel like you've just been working on the same projects for what feels like forever. So yeah, I might. Well, it's Easter weekend coming up, so I'm going to have a little bit of time, surely, over Easter weekend, and maybe that time to, what's the word? I have no memory today. Roll up. You know what I mean. get some yarn out of a hank and roll it up so I can start knitting with it. And maybe it'll be one of the yarns I'm going to show you now, because I've done a little bit of shopping. It was my birthday last month. My husband was away traveling, so it was just me and my daughter. So, you know, I just decided to buy birthday presents for myself. We went to on the Central Coast, which is just about an hour and a half north of Sydney here. There's a lovely yarn shop called the Grumpy Ginger. And they had I think it was their first anniversary, and so they were doing a little market. So I went up there. I've got friends that live up there, so we went for a swim at the beach afterwards, which was great. My daughter loved it as well. She wasn't that excited to be going, but of course once we got there she was very happy, looking at all the colours and the yarns and all the things. And I bought some yarns there, so let's have a look. The first ones I bought, this beautiful, it's called Dusty Aubergine colour. It's a 4-ply fingering soft sock superwash merino, 75%, 25% nylon, and it's by 3 Cats Yarn, who is a dyer in Sydney, and it's a gorgeous colour. And I do have an idea of what I might knit with this. Of course there's no way I can remember. It's a top, it's kind of a loose gauge jumper by a Japanese designer. It's called Holiday. I'm pretty sure the pattern, and I'll have to write the designer's name down because I can't remember that much. And I just think it would look really lovely in this colour, or another one that's coming up. The other yarn that I bought there was this beautiful by Carola Down Under. It is botanically dyed. It is 50% superwash merino, 50% silk, and the colour Fleur di Lotto, and it's beautiful. And it's dyed with cochineal. I'm sure I've said that wrong. And iron and lemon, and isn't it a lovely colour? And then this was unintentional, but look at them together. Don't they look beautiful? Maybe something happens together. Needs something together. So this is what I bought at the market that I went to. My husband was away, I mentioned. He was actually in Japan for work. So, I mean, of course, I was going to order yarn to get sent to his hotel to bring home for me. So I got him to bring me back this beautiful, I mean, you can see I've got a colour preference, can't you? This beautiful yarn, which is upside down, Trek hand dyed. It's by Amirisu, and it's 100% merino wool, and it looks so lovely. Isn't it nice? And this is the other yarn. Maybe I should do that holiday pattern in this colour. Decisions. I have to check the yardage. I would have more yardage of this one than the 3 Cats yarn, so maybe it would have to be this one anyway, which would be lovely because it's a Japanese yarn with a Japanese design. But we'll see. Those are my acquisitions. I don't know, I just feel like I've just had a verbal rambling throughout this whole video, but that's okay. I've gotten through lots of information. In terms of what's happening, life stuff, I don't know. We're all busy, school, work, all the things, but we're going really well, and school holidays are coming up, and as I said, we're going to take a week off and go spend time with my brother. My parents are going there as well, which should be lovely. But that's really, I think, all I've got in me today for the rest of the video. So wherever you are around the world, I wish you a wonderful day. I hope you're having an amazing time, and I hope you have lots and lots and lots of lovely knitting time. Take care, all the best, and I'll see you next time. Bye.